Even the name oozes romance, like a sultry southern bell, whispering promises in the humid air. Maybe the moss-draped oaks and cobblestone squares held some magic. The B&B was straight out of a postcard, a gingerbread Victorian with a porch swing begging for sweet tea and whispered secrets. We checked in, the scent of gardenias thick as we climbed the creaking stairs. A familiar pang of worry tugged at my gut, but I pushed it down, determined to embrace the day's potential. We were in Savannah. We were going to be okay. The morning air was thick with the scent of jasmine and salt as we strolled hand in hand along River Street. The sun glinted off the Savannah River, creating a shimmering path leading out to the sea. Bobbie seemed lighter, her steps bouncier, as if the city's energy had seeped into her soul. We rounded a corner and stumbled upon an old man hunched over a canvas. His weathered hands moved with a grace that belied his ragged appearance. He was painting the river, capturing its ever-changing moods with each stroke. Bobbie was captivated. She struck up a conversation, her usual reserve melting away. They talked about light and shadow, about finding beauty in unexpected places. The old man's name was Henry, and he spoke with a wisdom that seemed to emanate from the depths of his soul. For a brief moment, everything felt possible. The smell of shrimp and grits lured us into a charming little eatery tucked away on a side street. The walls were adorned with old photographs of Savannah, a visual history, whispering tales of the past. The aroma of spices and seafood filled the air, a sensory feast that promised to delight. But as we settled into our seats, I noticed a tension creeping into Bobbie's demeanor. Her gaze kept drifting towards the bar, her fingers drumming nervously on the table. I knew what she was thinking. I could practically taste the bourbon on her tongue. Just one drink, she pleaded, her voice barely a whisper, to take the edge off. I wanted to say no. I wanted to remind her of all the promises, all the times she swore she'd be better. But looking into her eyes, I saw a flicker of vulnerability, a desperate plea for understanding. So I simply sighed and nodded, my heart sinking with each clinking ice cube as the bartender poured her drink. The shadows seemed to deepen around our table, the ghosts of past struggles threatening to consume the fragile peace we'd managed to build. Section 4. The Spanish moss withers, a walk cut short. The rest of the afternoon was like watching a slow-motion train wreck. One drink turned into two, then three. With each sip, Bobbie's laughter grew louder, her words more careless. The vibrant, engaged woman I'd glimpsed that morning was fading, replaced by a stranger fueled by alcohol and self-destruction. We were walking through Forsyth Park, the iconic fountain shimmering in the afternoon sun. Children chased pigeons, their laughter echoing through the air. Couples strolled hand in hand, lost in their own private worlds. It was a scene of idyllic beauty, yet all I felt was a gnawing sense of dread. An argument erupted, fueled by bourbon words were exchanged, sharp and cutting like shards of glass. The fight was ugly, a tangled mess of blame and accusation. In the end, she stormed off, leaving swallowed by the city's symphony of sound. Section 5, seeking solace in sugar and silence. I walked for what felt like hours, my anger slowly giving way to exhaustion and a deep aching sadness. The sun began its descent, casting long shadows across the cobblestone streets. The air grew heavy with humidity, mirroring the weight in my chest. I stumbled upon a quaint candy store, its windows filled with colorful displays of saltwater taffy and gummy bears. Something about the childlike innocence of it all drew me in. The woman behind the counter, her face etched with the wisdom of countless Savannah summers, offered a kind smile and a free sample of praline. I wandered the aisles, my fingers trailing along jars of brightly colored sweets. I bought a bag of caramel popcorn, its sweetness a poor substitute for the love I craved. As I stepped back out into the fading light, the city seemed to be holding its breath, waiting for the inevitable storm to break. Section 6. Through cobblestone streets, a frantic search. Nightfall brought no relief from the oppressive heat. I searched for Bobbie, my anger replaced by a growing sense of worry. I retraced our steps, my heart pounding with each unfamiliar face in the crowd. I checked the bars she frequented, the ones I hoped she wouldn't dare revisit. Hours melted into a blur of neon signs and drunken laughter. The city, once charming, now felt menacing, its shadows concealing 1,000 dangers. Each unanswered phone call sent a fresh wave of panic surging through me. I imagined her passed out in some alleyway, vulnerable and alone, or worse, picked up by some predator looking for an easy target. Guilt gnawed at my gut. I should have stayed. I should have protected her, even from herself. Section 7, Dawn's Palette. Forgiveness in the first light. Dawn found me slumped against a lamppost near the river, my body and spirit utterly spent. The sky was awash in pastel hues, the air thick with the promise of a new day. A lone figure emerged from the fog, a familiar silhouette I'd know anywhere. Bobbie. She was covered in paint, her face illuminated by a soft ethereal glow. In her hands she held a canvas, a breathtaking depiction of the Savannah River at sunrise. It was as if she'd captured the essence of the city, its beauty and resilience on a single piece of stretched fabric. "Henry let me stay with him," she said, her voice hoarse but clear. "We painted all night. I didn't speak. I didn't need to." The look in her eyes, clear and bright, told me more than words ever could. The smell of paint, not bourbon, clung to her clothes. In that moment, as the sun bathed Savannah in its golden light, I felt a glimmer of hope. Maybe, just maybe, we could find our way back to each other, one brushstroke at a time.